All right. Barakatah Yahawah. Barakatah Yahawah Shai. Barakatah Yahawah. Barakatah Yahawah Shai. Barakatah Yahawah. Barakatah Yahawah Shai. Call Halayim Yahawah. Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Ba'ashem Makar Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone who taught us this truth. Honors and salutations to all Serakim throughout the four corners of the earth, laboring in honesty, sincerity, charity, and sound doctrine. All right? And to the Aquathium and to the children that believe on the true names of the Father and the Son, which the Father's name is Yahawah, he exists, and the Son's name is Yahweh Shai, he is the deliverer. Because he's going to be the one that come and deliver us, out of this hellhole. Salaki. And to the Ba'adaf Dawadak, the house of David, which is that 144, which the 144 is the men, and the 1/3 contains the children and the women, or the women and the children, however you want to put it. My name is Maka Allah Bun Gab Bun Yasha Allah. I'm with the Watchman Philadelphia camp. And I just want to do a lesson real fast, Probably won't be real fast, but however the Spirit takes it. I got this book, and it says, the Bible, a history, the making and impact of the Bible. All right, and this, you gotta, a lot of times you gotta pick the meat from the bones in here, because that's why we're defenders of the gospel. And you got these dudes, and then in the front of this book they got a timeline which is completely off. But I'm gonna just read a passage out of here tonight, early this morning. It was about 4:26 in the morning, and it says, "Writers and revisers at work." Okay, so just get to it. It says, let me read this little paragraph. It says, "From history needs to be supplemented by a form history of the gospel. If the former is oriented to the individual pieces, the latter is oriented to each gospel as a whole." So Esau always going off with some bullshit. Well, anyway, let me get to the first paragraph. It says, "The writers of form criticism of the Bible concentrated only on small parts of a biblical book and how these units were reworked at later times. Scholars give the name redactor. All right, both the writers who originally put two or more traditions together, and to editors who later revised such accounts. Ultimately, a new form of scholarship. Esau always trying to change shit, man. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read the first paragraph first, and then I'll grab a couple scriptures to back up, why this what they're saying is false. It says, "Which came to be called redaction, criticism, evolved in biblical studies. Its purpose is to discover the intentions of the various biblical redactors and to identify the theological emphasis those redactors may have contributed to the traditions they worked with. Redaction criticism came to the fore in the 1950s when three German scholars used it in studying the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, and Luke." Okay, which brings me to the first precept. We're going to grab Romans chapter 1 and 25. It says, "Who changed the truth of the Most High into a lie, and worship and serve the creature more than the Creator? Who is blessed forever? So be it." It says, "Amen." But that's what they're doing. So they study in Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which are the creature, which that brings up these brothers followed after Yahawah Mashiach, who came in the flesh, you know. But they studying them instead of, and actually they were examples of how to conduct yourself, by going through the scriptures as all the prophets are, you know. But Esau tried to turn them into being and try to demonize them, man. The same way they did Yahweh. Well, they did Yahweh Shai, man. All right. But this is the book of Habakkuk. Okay. Chapter 2 and 4. It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up in Salakia, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not right in him, but the just shall live by his faith," man. So, we have faith to know that these scriptures are the truth, man, which Esau don't. That's why they trying to comb them and trying to debunk everything that's in the scripts, man, But they trying to debunk everything that's in the scriptures, man. But what we do, we defend it. Why? Because we have faith, man. And their soul is not lifted. Their soul is lifted up. So they lifted up right now to a high level. It's not right, man. All right? Let's read that again, man. This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. It says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him." All right? So his soul is lifted up, but it's not upright in him. But the just shall live by his faith, man. So the just going to live by his faith. So let's get the word redact, which is a verb. It says to put into suitable literacy form, revise, edit, to draw up or frame, to hide or remove confidential parts of a text before publication or distribution, or to examine a text for this purpose, man. All right. So what the scriptures tell you, man? What did the scriptures tell you in Ezra? Write these things down and hide them in the book, man, and hide them. But Esau tried to use that as being something that's wrong. Why? Because they can't get it. It wasn't written for them. It's for our understanding. It was written 4 times for our learning and for our understanding. All right. So this thing of ours is not for Esau, man. It's for them on the fact that it's condemning them and telling them about their downfall. Which they don't want to hear in their queendom. Because everything that goes on in the society is a bunch of whole shit, man. And it says the origin of redact is 1350 to the 1400s. It says Middle East Latin redactus, past participle, or redegree, to lead back, equivalent to read plus actus, past participle of agree, to lead. All right, so they Esau full of shit, man. All right, it says redaction criticism in the New Testament. So hold on, I'm gonna pull that up on here real quick, so you have an idea of how Esau likes to use shit to try to come against you and everything. What is the meaning of the word redaction criticism?
According to Wikipedia, redaction criticism, also called Redaktionsgeschichte, Compositionsgeschichte, or Redaktionstheology, is a critical method for the study of biblical texts.
All right, so now you see that when it gives you a couple different names for it, and when you talk about text, it says biblical text. So basically, Yahweh sent me outside. He was using text messages back then because there's nothing new under the sun. Why do you think they call them text messages on your phone? How do you get out of the brother? If you can't physically speak on your phone, how do you get out of brother now? You text them. You used to send letters. Those letters were texts, man. You know, and those letters you can't hide them, man. All right. And let's get the matter of fact, I'm gonna say that word till we get to here because it says all right. It says Gunther Bornkamm was the first scholar to examine the work of a gospel redactor in 1948. He published an article showing how the author of Matthew's gospel took the account of Yahawah, it says Jesus, but Yahawah quieting the storm from Mark's gospel and gave it a new theological meaning. So what's theology, man? The new theological meaning. Theological meaning. I know my words probably get a little tongue-tied sometimes, you know. But it says meaning in Mark. Bornkamm holds the calming of the storm serves mainly to show that Yahawah has power over nature. Matthew uses the miracle to show Yahawah as the Hamashiach, a Messiah or of deed, after having shown him as the Messiah, Hamashiach of the Word. Because that's what he is. He's the Word in the flesh. All right? He's anointed with that. It says in the Sermon on the Mount, which almost immediately precedes the storm passage. Furthermore, since the account follows two sayings on discipleship, a discipleship, Matthew chapter 8, verse 19 through 22. Matter of fact, let's pull that real quick, man. You know, Esau is trying to be slick in what they do. So we're going to pull that. This is Matthew chapter 8, verse 19. Starting at verse 19. We're going to go to 22. It says, a certain scribe came and said unto him, Master, I will follow thee whitherso thou goest. And Yahawah saith unto him, the foxes have holes, and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man hath not nowhere to lay his head. And another of his disciples said unto him, Yahawah, suffer me first to go and bury my father. But Yahawah said unto him, follow me and let the dead bury their dead, man. So I don't know what that's basically having faith in Yahawah, man. And you know, once you come into this thing, man, it's all about faith, man, in Yahawah, man. You know, because you got dudes that come and be like, oh, my homie this, my homie that, my mother this, my mother that, I got to go do this and all that. No, it's all about Yahawah, by Hashem Chachadash at the end of the day. All right, so there's no excuses. This work comes first. The same way it tells you in the scripture where Yahawah says, he said, it was an encounter where the disciples told him that his mother wanted to come to speak to him. And he said he turned around the brothers that was around him because those was the brothers that was pushing the words of Yahawah, man. You know, and he said, these are my brethren, you know, and my mother and my sister and my brother and all that, man. You know, the ones pushing his word. All right. So it says Matthew turns Yahawah's rebuke to the disciples into a comment on discipleship. All right. It says to adding a new dimension to the passage. Bornkamm continued his studies in 1954. He presented a book on the entire Gospel of Matthew, applying redaction criticism to Yahawah's discourses. He brought out Matthew's idea on the church and its relationship to imminent the second coming of Yahawah. All right, so now look. Now this dude, wicked as hell. They always try to make books on you know, your own books when the book right here is what you're supposed to be reading out of, man. The scriptures. Okay? Just the book you're supposed to be reading out of. But y'all wanna make your own things up, man. And all that. So this is Ecclesiastes 12:12. It says, and further, by these my son be admonished of making many books. There is no end, and much study is a weariness of the flesh. So yeah, man, that's what Esau was trying to do. And these niggas that be trying to study and write all these different books and go to this book and that book, and the book is right here in front of you. You're supposed to go and look up history and all that, man. You know? But they want to write their own books, and you got niggas now. When you got the scriptures right in front of you, you'll see a book like this and be like, yo, let me read this and read it through. I'm reading this to debunk this bullshit that Esau is doing. You know, and you gotta pick the meat from the bones, man. But you got dudes that they read this book and take it for face value. I'm like, yo, this book's the shit. You know. Matter of fact, furthermore, go on that point. Without that, let's go to Isaiah chapter 3, 34 and 16. Spirit. This is the book of Isaiah chapter 34, verse 16. It says, seek ye out of the book of Yahawah and read. So what's that book? Not this book. Talking about this book right here. Okay? This book right here, King James. The scriptures. This is the 1611 version, alright? Let's get that again. It says, seek ye out of the book. This is Isaiah chapter 34 and 16. Seek ye out of the book of Yahawah and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. For my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them, man. So, yo, that's the Lord telling you to seek out of his book and read it. You know? Because nothing's going to fill you. None of these words are going to fill you. And guess what? The elect are going to be gathered by you reading out of this book, man. You know? That's why you got Esau trying to make their own books and things of that. You know? They're trying to make their own books try to throw off the spirit and all that, man. But you can't do that to Yahawah, man. As a matter of fact, let's go to Amos, but since they want to talk about the second coming of Yahawah, man. You know? This is Amos chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of Yahawah, to what end is it for you? The day of Yahawah is darkness and not light. Okay? So, yo, the day of Yahawah is darkness and not light, man. And you talking about these dudes, they trying to seek out things in the scriptures. And these Edomites, man, trying to search out things in the scriptures and talking about the second coming of Yahawah, man. Y'all tripping. Matter of fact, this is what you want to get since y'all want to, do the bullshit. And y'all basically scared of your fate. It says, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. So that means there's going to be no rest for you in that day, man. It says, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it, man? So it's going to be all, I ain't going to say confusion. Yeah, you can say confusion, but at that time, you're not going to be getting edified because it's your destruction time, man. The edification is coming right now through the spirit and power of Yahawah. Now I can sit down and do these lessons, man. You know? When I can sit down and do these lessons, that's your edification, man. And getting your edification. And that day is going to be straight confusion, mayhem. You know? But the elect are going to be sitting back, chilling, laughing at you. You know. It says in 1953, Hans Konzelman published the theology of Saint Luke, in which he goes through the entire Lucan gospel, trying to separate out Luke's own editorial material from from that of his sources. Konzelman then examines the Lucian material for theological motivation, but by putting all the pieces together, he arrives at a revolutionary view of a Lucian theology. So look, matter of fact, let me keep going because I got that word. It says, it says, in the past, Luke has generally been seen as a historian in the modern sense of a chronicler of events. So it says a chronological is a record of events, a history. So he's supposed to be like a good historian. What they're trying to say. All right, it says of events through his radical redactional Redactional studies. However, Konzelman demonstrates that Luke was much more theologian than a historian. So now you got the word theology, which they translate theology, you know, but it goes back to the word theology, which the first half of theology is theo, God in Greek, suffix logi, the study of. So theology means the study of God, but they expand it to mean the study of religion, which religion goes back to the word religio, which means to hold back. So if you study in any type of religion, they holding you back, man. All right? So that's why they do those things, because it's the study of Yahawah Shim Yahushua, man. Through what? Through his scriptures. And how do you get to know him? Through the scriptures, man. All right? And how you get to know his will? Through the scriptures, because this is what they say, basic instructions before leaving earth. You can say, but this Bible right here, man, is what it is, man. When it's broken down correctly and not with all these bullshit, because you got a lot of different Israelite groups out there and they pushing all types of different doctrines, which is like fucking crazy. You know, the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. Okay, if you don't know that, then don't open your mouth, man. You know, because you get brothers that'll draw you in through the 12 tribe signs and all that. You know, and then do all these different doctrines, talking just madness, man. Okay, but it says, let's keep going because I don't want to go off topic. It says through his redactional studies, however, Kozelman demonstrates that Luke was much more a theologian than a historian. Even time or geography has theological purpose in Luke and may not reflect the actual locations or times that particular events occurred. In fact, Konzelman demonstrates that Luke divides times into three major periods. Okay, it says hold on, into three major periods: the period of Israel, including the ministry of John the Baptist, the period of Yahawah's ministry, including the post-resurrection periods, and the period of the period of the Church of Yahawah ascension. So that means to rise up until his second coming. Okay, it says Konzelman goes on to show how Luke used this time frame and other tools to examine the delay in the second coming, which Luke's time was seen as past due. All right, so look, now it talks about, and that's why I'm bringing out this scripture, because it's talking about the rise of Yasharala, man. You know, starting with the elect. All right, so this is Isaiah. You're going to get Isaiah chapter 52. We'll start at verse 4 through 9. It says, this is Isaiah chapter 52, verse 4. We're going to end at the 9th verse. It says, for thus saith Yahawah Bashim Shapar, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. So yeah, that's when we were. You basically say he's using what was this? I think it's Mark is talking about. No, Luke just talking about how he used different time frames to give you time. All right. So it says, for thus saith Yahawah Bashim Shapar, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. Now therefore, what have I here, saith Yahawah Bashim that my people is taken away for naught. They that rule over them make them to howl, saith Yahawah Bashim, and my name continually every day is blasphemed. Therefore my people shall know my name, therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that doth speak. Behold, it is I. How beautiful upon the mountains are the face of him that bringeth good tidings. So what's the good tidings? That's talking about coming out here teaching these scriptures, man. The law, statutes, and commandments of the Bible, man. That's giving good tidings, man. All right? And this is talking about, this basically talks about the fall and the rise of Yasharala, man. It says, that publisheth peace, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy power reigneth. Thy watchmen shall lift up the voice, with the voice together shall they sing, for they shall see eye to eye when Yahawah Bashim shall bring again Zion. Break forth in joy, Salakia, break forth into joy, sing together the wasted places of Jerusalem. For Yahawah Bashim hath comforted his people, he hath redeemed Jerusalem, man. So what's redeeming, man? It means you've been paid for it. You're bought with a price, man. All right? It says in Mark the Evangelist, 1956 and 1959, Willie Markson, the first to use the term redaction criticism, investigates Mark's contributions to the gospel traditions. He studies the life situation, it says, sitz I'm Libin, of the evangelist to establish the evangelist's purpose and point of view in writing his gospel. He focuses mainly on Mark's treatment of John the Baptist, Mark's geographical references the concept of gospel and the material on end times, chapter 13. You know, so that's crazy, man. So they are looking at the end time. Why? Because they're trying to upset prophecy. That's why they're doing these things. But it says that it was focusing more on the Mark's relationship with John the Baptist, man. Now, how is that going to get you salvation, man? You know? So Esau always trying to do anything, and they said they focus on, you know, the end time prophecies, you know? But it says, moving along, it says, redaction criticism in the Old Testament. It says scholars also use redaction criticism in studies of the Old Testament. In reading the Old Testament published in 1984, John Barton gives the example of how a redactor tied together the early chapters of Genesis and the Abraham story. The redactors use of genealogies once thought to be only a device for tying together distinctly different sources actually serves an important theological function in the case of the table of nations in Genesis the 10th chapter. In which you can go through that and read that, and it tells you, like, after the flood, you know, which is a great you want to learn your history and all that. That's a chapter to read, man. It says the ancient Near East, the creation was regarded as occurring in a timeless realm, unconnected with the time frame used to relate human history. In response to this belief, the redactor of Genesis used simple genealogies to tie together accounts of creation to the history of the Israelites. See, now they know. So now it's talking to you in this book, talking about the Israelites, man. It didn't say nothing about Jewish people. It said the Israelites. As a result, the text makes clear that one and the name God is responsible both for creating the world and for directing it subsequent history, which in many religions is not the case. So they tell you that the scriptures has nothing to do with these religious sects, man. Just letting you know, because these things that's going on in these scriptures, man, was preordained by Yahawah Bashim Yahushua from the beginning, man. Just like it tells you, I believe it's in First John. I don't want to misquote it, but it says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was true. The Word was Yahushua, man. He became a Word in the flesh, man. All right? It says it also shows that God has a purpose which is already implicit from the moment the world is formed. So all these things are preordained. Everything that's going on, man. Like I said, it's nothing new under the sun, man. Yahawah is the ultimate boss, man. And whatever comes out of his mouth, that's what goes, man. And everybody that he created, they has to follow his orders, man. Whether you think you're doing it willingly or not, you're doing it. It says a purpose which works itself out over an immensely long period of time, but which is never frustrated. See that? That purpose, of course, is to establish Abraham's descendants in Palestine. So it says Abraham's descendants in Palestine. But all these things been preordained and predestined to happen. Because Yahawah Shem Yahushua is a man that he cannot lie. So everything that he wrote, he put down in the beginning. That's why it says what was written aforetime is for our learning and for our understanding. So these things been written from the beginning. So every age that we come into, it's for your learning, man. It says other scholars studied the redactors of the prophets, concluding that the prophetic books went through various revisions before arriving at the text we have today. And that's where these niggas get it fucked up at. That's where these niggas get it fucked up. Because they always try to say, well, the Bible was tampered with and all that. You're an asshole. And if you say stuff like that, you have no light in you, man. Because you don't want to know the truth. So this is Psalm 60 and 11. It says, Yahawah Shem Yahushua gave the word. Great was the company of those that published it. So those that published it and great was the company published means speaking. That went out and taught it. You know? That went out and taught it. So it wasn't no adding on and all that. Okay? It wasn't none of that. Matter of fact, let's get it. Revelation chapter 22 and 18. All right? Since these niggas want to say the Bible was tampered with. And they basically saying that right there. And in these scripts. This is Revelations chapter 22 and 18. It says, For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book. If any man shall add unto these things, the Most High will add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. So, yo, if you try to add on to these scriptures, man, all the plagues that come with this book, man, and you read about the plagues that happened in Egypt and all that, and you still want to act like you gangster, man, and you just some type of G, guess what? You ain't going to be that G, because y'all about to see me outside going to add all those plagues that's in this book onto your ass, man. So you dudes need to cool out, man, because y'all about to see me outside and playing. This is 2 Peter chapter 20, chapter 1, verse 20. It says, knowing this, first, that no prophecy of the scripture is of any private interpretation. So none of these prophecies that are going in this book is of any private interpretation. So these dudes talking about the Bible was tampered with. They added on. They did this. They did that. The Quran is the only book and all that. Man, you out your goddamn mind, man. And y'all Bashim outside going to destroy your ass, man. For making a mockery of them. All right? So let's go. It says, other scholars studied the redactors of the prophets, concluding that the prophetic books went through various revisions before arriving at the text we have today. Most important, perhaps, Martin North developed a widely accepted theory. See, an accepted theory. Now, hold up, man. Let's get that word theory. What's the origin of the word theory and what does it mean? Let's get it.
Here's a summary from vocabulary.com. When you have a theory, you have a set of beliefs or principles that might not be proven yet. This word is a noun and comes from the Greek theoria, which means contemplation or speculation.
There you go. You see that? So it wasn't proven yet, man. Okay? That's crazy, man. I gotta read that again. It says theory. When you have a theory, you have a set of beliefs. So it's a difference between beliefs and the truth, man. Because that's what niggas always like to say now. Yo, that's your belief. Your belief is your belief. No, we don't believe in beliefs. We believe in the truth, man. All right? The truth. It says when you have a theory, you have a set of beliefs or principles that might not be proven yet. So they said they might not be proven yet. Okay? So that's like, yo, man, these niggas is out their fucking mind. It says this word is a noun and comes from the Greek theoria, which means contemplation or speculation. So basically it's a bunch of bullshit. Cause that's somebody sitting in the crib like, oh man, let me think of something. I'm gonna tell these niggas this. You know? It says most important perhaps, Martin North developed a widely accepted theory, so everybody believed this shit, that the books of Joshua to 2 Kings form a single work with Deuteronomy as it prolonged retelling the history of the Israelites to show that they had lost their land, which that's the truth, lost their land, and been taken captive because they had not been faithful to the Most High's covenant, which is true. Latter scholars built on this theory, which is not a theory, it's the truth. On this theory, for discussion of their findings, see history with a viewpoint in this book, pages 36 and 37. On the whole, redaction criticism has helped us understand the theology of the Bible of the biblical writers and has filled in our knowledge of the theological history of Judaism, which is no such thing as that, and early Christianity, which is no such thing as that, in a way that was formerly impossible. So the word Christian comes from the word Hamashiach, which means anointed. So that's Israel. So let's go to the book of Baruch, because they was talking about how we turn our backs on the Lord, that's all facts, man. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4, verse 28. It says, "For it was your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. For he that hath brought these plagues upon you shall bring you everlasting joy again with your salvation," man. So yeah, you know, once, because when we were first born into this kingdom, we didn't understand who we were and all that, man. Which this is telling you, with what we turned our back on the Lord, and that's why I brought that script out, man. You know, because we turned our back on Yahawah outside. So now once you find them again because it said the spirit of the prophets is subject to the prophets, man. You know, so what you doing in this lifetime, you was doing in your past lifetime. You know, but this is Jeremiah chapter 7 and 4. It says, "And thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For ye have kindled a fire in mine anger, which shall burn forever," man. So yeah, that's why we going through what we going through now, man. And that's why, and that's what they're saying. So they saying it was a theory, but yo, now we're proving it. It's not a theory, it's actual real facts, man. You know? And that's why they tried to turn them gutter rats and tried to give them our story. You know? Got these niggas walking around and it's the same shit them fucking Muslims wear, man. But this is Jeremiah chapter 2 and 33. It says, "Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways," man. So yeah, you like I just did the lesson on I should have brought this scripture out in that lesson when it talks about fuck your Thanksgiving. Because what did them Winnepagoneans do, man? They taught Esau their ways, man. As soon as Esau learned that shit, he turned his back. It was like, man, fuck y'all. I know how to live. I'm good now. I'm healthy. Now I'm going to kill y'all off. Good looking. You know? And that's what our people do. They want to trim their ways, man, to fit in. You know? And you trimmed your ways, and what's that doing? That means you turned your back on Yahawah, Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Achakodas, and that's why you're in the condition that you're in, which these scriptures is proven in. And this book even, makes mentions of some of these things, man. You know, this is the last script, and I'm going to get out of here, because it's just quite early in the morning, but it don't even matter when it comes to doing the work of Yahawah, Ba'ashim Yahushua, man. Ba'ashim Achakodas. This is Daniel chapter 9. We're going to go to verse 5. It says, "We have sinned and have committed iniquity and have done wickedly and have rebelled even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments," man. So we departed from those things, man. Okay? So that's why we in the condition that we in. And in this scripture, and this, that's why I brought it out, because the ending of this this is a good book, man, but you gotta pick the meat from the bones. But it's a tool sharpener, you know. to see where you at with it. But it's just telling you we departed from our precepts. And what's our precepts? That's some scriptures, man. And we also trimmed our ways, man. Discontinued from our heritage. And we went astray, man. So that's why Yahawah Shemi outside turned his back. But now we getting back to the point where we're about to rise again. So stay strong, Akim, Akwathim, children. And Lord's willing that this lesson was edifying and made sense. And Lord's will, I hope I wasn't rambling too much. All right. And I want to say, call Halam Yahawah Shemi outside by Shema Chakwadas for this truth of mouth. To the next lesson, I'm going to say, Shalom, Akim, Akwathim, stay strong, and death to America. Shalom.